Good morning, everyone. I have Mrs. Sally Gleaves with me here today. She is a sixth Dan from the UK. Whereabouts in the UK?
Worcestershire, so kind of middle.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Worcestershire sauce. That's where I'm from.
Okay. She's on the ITF England team. You are you're on the AETF Women's Committee.
Yes, correct.
Is that a newer role for you? I thought I saw.
No, I
Okay.
think I'm in my third year of that one now.
Oh,
I'm
great.
at the end of the my term there.
Okay, fascinating. Who or what has inspired you to begin Taekwondo?
Oh, okay. So I started Taekwondo because I was bullied at school. So it was very much a case that my mom said, well, actually, I'm going to put you into martial arts because we want you to learn how to defend yourself. And then I actually started in karate first, and the club closed. So I moved to Taekwondo because that was the pretty much the only other available option at that point in time. So inspired, probably not the right kind of word usage. It's not that was not the origin. More so, it was a case of necessity. But I was very inspired by the one female that was in the club at the time. And she has actually now moved to America, funny enough. So,
Fascinating. What is your top motivation to continue to pursue Taekwondo as your lifestyle?
okay. Um, I had this conversation, funny enough, with my partner the other day, and I said to him, Taekwondo has been the heart of me since I was what, 9. I started martial arts at 9, so Taekwondo probably more towards 11 years old when I started there. And it has been the heart of me since then. And I can't imagine how my life would be without it. So, from a lifestyle point of view, it has been something that's kept me grounded as a person for my entire life. I haven't ever imagined my life without it. There have been wobbles where I've gone, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore, or maybe I can't do this anymore. Maybe I'm not enjoying it as much as I used to, but I always come back to it because it is that core of me. So, from a lifestyle point of view, it has everything that I need. It has the discipline, it has the community. I've met most of my network, my friends, my extended family through Taekwondo. So on just that alone, it's great. But then there's obviously the other benefits like the fitness, the discipline, the mental health elements of it, where it makes you feel better just by stepping in the dojo. Like one of the things that all my students say to me every single time they're having a bad day is they love coming to Taekwondo because it's not just Taekwondo that lifts them back up, it's the whole community of it as well. And that's something that's been incredibly apparent in my community in the last few months or so, where people have felt that things haven't been going right in their lives and they come to Taekwondo and then suddenly they feel much better. So I continue pursuing it not only for myself, but also for the community that we've built in Taekwondo. As a school owner, I've built a lovely community of people and a place that's safe for them to come to lift themselves up and enjoy their training, basically.
I can absolutely understand that. Yes. What factors are important in being a woman leader in Taekwondo?
I think finding your voice
Mhm.
and knowing how to use it effectively, but also not getting disheartened when you use it effectively and it's not heard, because that is something that doesn't always happen. People aren't either ready to hear it or they hear it defensively. And it's really important that despite that, it's not personal to you. It's not you as a person that's the problem. It's their ability to hear you as a person. And I think that's one of the most important things that I've found as a female in this environment, that it's hard to have your voice heard, but once you know how to use it, you can't stop. You can't stop. So,
Hmm. Okay, I like that. How do you encourage women to begin or to continue their training?
okay. In my school, we have pretty much a 50-50 split of women to men. We have more female senior grades at the moment. Most of my coaches are female, so that really does help encourage females into the sport. The environment is very open. The men are very aware that periods happen. The young boys are very aware that periods happen. We're very open about that. We have all of the sanitary items fully on display in the toilet. And the conversations are very open about it. So if one of the young girls is struggling, my husband or, the senior grades are not shy of talking about that. So that does help make it a very inclusive environment for women. We're also very supportive of everyone's, I want to say, like, map of the world. So their background, their viewpoints, how they come into the sessions, how they present themselves in the sessions. If they're struggling, we know how to approach that. We've, been on training. I've been on domestic abuse training, so I know how to spot the signs of that. We have our small group of sad busters children who, if they named themselves that wasn't me. But if they see someone that's sad, they will go and talk to them. And if they feel that that person's very sad, they will come and talk to me about how sad that person is. And that goes for everyone. So I think just that whole environment of being inclusive actually helps include women more. When it comes to progressing their training, we're very clear about leadership role. We're quite happy for anyone and everyone to take on leadership roles. Everyone can have a go at coaching. Everyone can have a go at umpiring. Everyone can be an advocate. So we don't have any boundaries or barriers there for them to move forwards. It's equal for everyone. The support is equal for everyone. We're quite open again about women who are, pregnant, so they can train, they can still train. They can train post-pregnancy. We make sure that we support them in that as well. And generally, if anyone's just struggling as a woman, the whole club is there for them.
That's beautiful. That's like the perfect what a martial arts should be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect. You kind of touched on this actually. Do you find that having female instructors or leaders tends to encourage more women to join your school rather than an all male led?
I think so. And we don't
Yeah.
advertise as the kind of martial arts school that looks intimidating. We advertise the joy. I wouldn't say that much of our public face is very, I don't want to say like serious, because we do get results and we're very, we're very good at getting results as a club, and we, people medal and people progress, they achieve, but we're very clear of the joy and the fun elements. And it's not one of those places where you can go and you'd feel intimidated purely from the public face of what we are. And I think that clearly comes across in the marketing. So we do represent everyone equally in, for example, marketing. It does help that we have a lot of female coaches, and most of our helpers are also female. So like our assistant instructors are also female. So that boundary is kind of already taken away before a woman steps through the door. But I definitely think around the marketing and the way that we present ourselves in the community as people first, rather than the martial art first, really helps bring more women in.
Beautiful. Yeah, I like that. Do you find having other women to look up to is a valuable thing for women and girls during their journey?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think when it comes to women, I think people sometimes mistake confidence. So I think they feel like women maybe not confident, or we haven't got a confidence in ourselves to do sport. But I don't think that's the case. I think that many women are confident enough to take up sport, do sport, but maybe don't get to see enough of the role modeling, especially at lower age groups. I don't think they get to see the role modeling that necessarily allows them that confidence to feel like they can succeed. And I think that was very apparent for many women in the 90s, like for example, when I was training, or like the early 2000s, you know, for me, I had one female in the club, I think, and she was a great role model, thankfully. But, you know, maybe in the past, women haven't had those role models, and that's made that confidence to achieve more challenging. I think it's really important that there are role models in place for everyone. I love that my school finds role models in each other, not necessarily just because someone's a fantastic practitioner or they always win medals or they, you know, go off and do amazing things. They find role models in the simple things as well. So for part of the International Women's Day campaign, I asked like everyone in the group to nominate a role model that they have or someone that they think is amazing in the school, not someone that's done something amazing outside of taekwondo or someone in taekwondo that consistently medals. It was someone in their community that they felt was a great role model. And the things that we got was, you know, always comes to class with a smile and makes me feel better about myself. That's role modeling. You don't have to role model as a fantastic athlete. Those are great role models too, don't get me wrong. But I think having those role models all around you, that it just makes so much more difference, which is what we've always wanted to try and achieve in our club. And yes, I do go and compete, and I want to role model that, you know, even as a senior, older female, I can still do that. But it's my success and what I role model isn't tied to what I win. It's tied to how I behave, and it's tied to how I advocate for people. It's tied to how present I am as a coach, as an instructor, and as a person in their lives as well. And I think that's really important. That's the most important thing, I think, actually.
Yes. Yeah, I was looking at your information and I saw that you do, that's a big part of what you do is advocating for women or for just people in general that need your voice because they don't haven't found their own yet, maybe. I
Yes.
love that. That's beautiful. Yeah.
I'd hope that in being a strong person, and to be honest, I'm not always a strong person. Like that is the other thing. And I think it always gets very overlooked when you are in a role of leadership, is that you do have your vulnerabilities and things don't always go to plan. And sometimes you are having the worst day of your life, but you still go and you still show that strength for other people. But whilst not forgetting that you can show vulnerability too. And I think that's something I've worked on a lot myself in the last, I don't know, 2 years or so, is that, you know, as much as I can be strong, it's okay also not to always be okay. And it's actually okay to ask for help, because I don't think sometimes leadership asks for help as well. So
I can appreciate that because I'm that's not a strength of mine either.
it took me a while.
Right. What would you say to other females who are considering beginning or are just starting out in their journey?
Take every step at your own pace, I think, is the main thing I would say, is that it's your journey. Just like I was saying earlier about everyone has their own map of the world, your journey is your map of your world. You don't need to hold yourself up to someone else and think that you're not achieving just because you haven't done it in their way or on their terms. I think ask for help and don't be afraid to ask for help. I think a lot of new beginners maybe feel like they can't ask, but you can, and you should. You should always ask, um, and just have fun with it. Like, don't feel pressured to be something too quickly. You know, like everyone's journey is different, and yours might take someone else's might go like that, and yours might go, oh, you know. And there might be points where it does that and everything aligns properly, but then it might get clouded at some point by this. And that doesn't mean that you're doing any worse than you should do. It just means that that's how your journey looks.
Definitely. Yep. And then would you like to add anything else about just in general about types of things we've talked about here?
It's a difficult and challenging place for women to step into. It is a big step to get into any sport, but martial arts even more so, I think, in some ways, because of the expectation that you have to be something strong and, big, or, against men. It's not the case. It's, again, everyone's there for their own reasons, everyone's there for their own journey. You're there for your reasons, whatever they may be. So embrace those reasons and embrace the challenges and embrace the enjoyment and embrace the moments where you think, oh man, I'm going to quit, and then go, oh, actually, no, I'm not. I was just having a bad day that day. And never ever think about quitting on a good day. Like, and I know where I want to go with this. So, like, one thing I always say to my guys is, you've told me you want to quit, you've told me you want to quit, but when you've won that medal, do you still want to quit? That's where I want to go with that kind of sentiment. And that's the same, because, and again, it's not necessarily a medal. It could actually just be a different win. It could be that today I actually finally managed to get that kick looking how I want it to. Do I still want to quit? So I think it's just learning how to embrace those challenges and pushing forwards through them regardless, really.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes.
And how are you finding setting up a women's committee? I'm
Oh,
intrigued.
it's fun. It's been great so far, honestly.
Oh, that's good. And you
Yeah.
feel quite hopeful for how the committee moves forwards, for what the outcomes are that you're looking for.
Yes, I can't wait to see like how it kind of morphs. I'm still getting new people, I'm still like the only person in charge, so
Quite an evolving process then.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So are you looking to, like, what initiatives are you looking to drive with the women's committee?
It's so similar to what you've talked about, honestly, just being more open and verbalizing things that need to be said in a community like this.
Giving more exposure
Yeah,
to women.
right, yeah. And being more inclusive and more of a family.
No, it's good. I think it's nice that the initiatives come about in the USA. I think it's a really good step for you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys do with it, actually. So hence why I was asking, because I've always loved knowing what direction people are going to take their women's committees in. Um, I think for me, I've always liked the idea of having as much exposure for women, but also finding a way of giving them support that's been, I don't know, really thought out at the foundational level. Like, how am I going to preempt some of the things that are going to happen, and how do I have information for that for them? That's always been my like area of love, of how you troubleshoot for people to get them from the point where they're struggling to the point where they're flourishing. So I think, yeah, you'll have quite a lot of fun with that, I think, and quite
Yeah.
a lot of innovation with that. And that's the joy of having a committee like this. So I wish you like the best of luck with it.
Well, thank you so
Thank you
much.
for what you do.
I appreciate that.
It's okay.
Well, I thank you for the support of our ITF-USA Women's Committee, and thank you for taking a few minutes to speak with me. I
Oh,
appreciate
that's
that.
fine.